What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Collectible Show and Tell. Sorry, a couple of minutes late. We had an awesome episode last time a few weeks ago with ThinkGeekTheory, NickTheComicNerd, and Fantastic Girl. But I reckon we're gonna top that one today even. So, before I bring on my guest, just to remind you guys watching live, if you're watching the replay, if you enjoy this show, I have a link to every single episode in the description below. So you can scroll through, check out the guests I've had. And of course, if you took a minute just to follow my guest today, I've got the IG accounts, YouTube, and all that good stuff down there. So please, I'd appreciate it if you check them out. I'll shout out the chat in a bit. We'll bring on my guest. So first I'm just hosting today, so I'm not showing stuff as usual. And I'm going to bring on my returning guest, who is Shaun. If you guys missed him last time, he's not on YouTube. He's on IG under Zarz84. He's a good friend of mine. He's a massive collector, and he also runs a convention down here called Days of Future Pop Culture. And he is back once again. What's going on, mate?
How you going, buddy?
I'm good, man. Thanks for you were like the most last minute invite I think I've ever done. So yeah, I appreciate you joining.
Always glad to help, dude.
As you guys can see, he's got quite a lot of stuff. So I'm excited to see what Shaun brings today. Who's next? I'm going to bring on the Captain. Everyone knows him. If you haven't seen him before, you can find him on Cover Slingers on Greyman's channel. He's sometimes on Lame or Frame with Rod, and sometimes he makes content on his own channel. Capn Comics, what's going on, mate?
Oh, mates and mermaids.
There you go, buddy.
You mentioned the seashells too. You can sometimes see him in the seashells.
Seashells by the seashore.
All right. And then my third and final guest showed up fashionably late because, he's in the big time now. Yeah, you can catch him obviously on his own channel. He makes a lot of he does a lot of creator interviews, haul videos, and does a lot of videos with his other half, Mrs. Bearded. He's also the judge on Lame or Frame. Please welcome to the first time to my channel, Bearded Comic Bro.
Man, I'm so excited to be on here tonight. And yeah, I was making you sweat a little bit. I was working. I mean, no one cares, but I'm drilling a hole through my ceiling to run my landline through, so I don't have to just keep draping this through my stairwell to get I was trying to bring good content to you by having a landline to my computer, Simon. So, I just, it took a little longer than I expected, but I'm here. I'm ready.
Is that liking for internet connection? Do you have internet issues?
That's right. I wanted to make sure internet was going to be just right for you.
All right. Yeah, there was one episode I did where apparently I was just frozen like the whole time. So now every time before the show now, I disconnect all the Wi-Fi from my phones and all that stuff.
Right.
Just to make sure. So, all right. Before I start, I'll just quickly shout out the chat. We had CaptainSaro in here at 11:30 p.m. last night, claiming the gold medal. We got MadSpidey in the house. We got Ruben Guzman in the house. Superrus, Pandas Balls. And that's about it. Thank you for hanging out, guys. All right. So you guys, I don't know if you've seen the show before. Shaun's going to start us off. I want to try one of these. There's all these new little how do you do? There's like a new little screen thing where you can get us at the bottom. How do you do that? Because that's the one I want to use.
You're talking to. I don't ever go live on my channel, so I don't know. Cap doesn't even have a channel, and apparently, your other member doesn't have YouTube. So Simon, this is on you, buddy.
All right.
Okay.
Cap, you don't have a channel, do you?
He sometimes does.
Sometimes, yeah.
All right. We'll do this. We'll just go traditional. Shaun, what you got, mate?
Start off with go something a little bit different.
What is that?
Shazam.
It's a Shazam. I don't even know if it's an Australian variant, but it is a giant book. And if you can see on the side, comes with 6 king-size stories.
Yep.
How to Draw Shazam Family.
So is it comic stories in there, or is it like a whole like just a?
So it's got 6 the first 6 comic books of Shazam when he came back in his original run.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a giant book, so it's an A3 sized book.
Okay, so you're trying to work around my whole not bringing comics thing, right? When was that, mate? When was that printed? Was that pretty old?
Yeah, it's. Give me 1 second, I'll pull it out. So I've had it probably for about 15 years now. It's one of the first books that I got when I was started collecting as a kid. And it has a diorama that you cut out so you can pose with him.
Aren't you glad you didn't cut it out?
I'm not you. So inside the book, let's see when it was printed. So 1973.
Oh, nice.
So it's a big book.
Yeah.
Big boy.
Now, wait, did you say you've had that since you were a kid?
I've had it probably for about 15 years. So not a kid, but a young adult.
Kid. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's one of the first things I bought as a collectible when I started getting stuff like that.
Nice.
So today's for me, it's going to be a lot of first things I got.
Okay, nice. You got a theme. I like it. All right. Let's bring in the Cap.
All right. Well, for my first round here, I'd said go with a vehicle. We'll go with a Joker mobile.
Oh, that's cool.
But it's not just an ordinary one. Pops up here. Little cannon. Back doors open. Front doors open.
That's good.
The great thing is, if you push on this and push on it, front bumper comes open and squirts you with water.
Oh, does it really? Wait,
Yeah.
That's sick. Where do you put the water though?
There's a little container underneath here, and it just pumps and pumps and pumps. You pull that up.
That's
squirt
cool.
out front.
That's sick.
So that's my first one as a vehicle.
How long have you had that for?
This one probably about 10 years. I got it at a garage sale
Nice.
for like less than $2.
When you first pulled it out, I thought to myself, I was like, I wonder if that's just like a mystery machine, but like, they've just changed the stickers around.
I kind of thought the same thing. It's a kind of a purple. I don't know if you can quite see it on the screen. That's the back into it. You can see
That's cool.
the pump.
I always like the vehicles for the villains. Like, hey, I'm a villain, and I'm going to tell you I'm a villain by putting my logo on a van. Like, oh, there's a Joker mobile running by. Oh, he probably did some shenanigans. We might just want to stop him.
There's a machine gun on the top. That most vans have that. So there you go.
Very nice, mate. Very nice. Just before I move on to Bearded, G-Spot, what's going on, mate? I believe it's his Queen G's birthday. I think it was. That's why, because I actually tried to get G-Spot on as well, but make it. So thanks for jumping in the chat, mate. All right, Bearded. I know you got plenty of stuff to show.
I do, and this was the hardest thing. Like, not even worrying about like not showing comics, but just what to do. So since Cap showed a vehicle, I'm going to show a vehicle as well. This is from 1963. This is something my grandma got for me in the flea market. It's not in good shape. It's beat up. Doesn't have all the parts, but This is a 1963 Dick Tracy Copmobile.
That's right. You're like the only
Remote
person
control?
I know.
No, it's not a remote control. These just kind of are there to look like something. And if it was, it might have actually. Now that you say that, it might have been, because if you look right here, but
6D batteries.
yeah, like it's massively. It's 4D batteries. So I actually, now you say it, it probably was a remote control, and the turning it upside down and stuff, I lost a part, but I'll fix it. But I mean, it's not in good shape, but my grandma knew I was a big Dick Tracy fan, and so she saw this at a flea market and was like, I gotta get this. And I've never wanted to hunt it down for a bigger, like a better condition, because it won't have any sentimental value to me, right? Like this means a lot to me that, you know, my grandma, who passed away when I was in middle school, bought this for me, and so like it always will hold a place in my heart, because I have a Dick Tracy shrine over there, which I'm not even gonna deal with showing you all, but
I think I helped with that a little bit too.
you did. So you did. So
Was it called the Copmobile? Was that actually a
no,
thing?
so I mean
It's not the
I mean,
most creative.
I think it was just police cars, but let's be honest, like it was
Copmobile.
these, like and I'm looking at this, I'm like, holy cow, I need to dust my toys a little bit more right now because it's super dusty. But you know, no worries, right? Like it's just me.
I was gonna say I love that you're a massive Dick Tracy fan, man, because
Yeah.
I remember, obviously I had a little phase when I was a kid when the Dick Tracy movie came out. I loved Dick Tracy and reading like his old school comics back then.
Oh, it's so great. I mean, Dick Tracy, the Phantom, like, you know, those are some of those characters that like laid the groundworks for comic books and, you know, Batman's and your Superman. And I just think they don't get any respect. And so I love that I love that I'm a Dick Tracy fan.
Do you have Dick Tracy figurines?
Do I have Dick Tracy
Yeah,
figurines?
I just don't think I've ever seen them.
Yeah. So what I'll do is when I'm not here, how about this? What I'll do, when you go to the next person, I'll switch to my Wi-Fi and I'll show you my Dick Tracy shrine.
Nice.
So I might have to hop back on, but I'll go to Wi-Fi so I can move my computer and show you.
All right, I'm down with that. All right,
So
because yeah, I'd love to see that.
Yeah. So round two, I'll just be stationed at the Dick Tracy shrine, and we can talk about all things Dick Tracy.
Love it. The only Dick Tracy collector I know, so I love it. All right, we'll go back to Shaun. What do you got, mate?
Alrighty. So
that's are they the big ones?
yep.
I remember those.
So I got this when I was 7 years old.
It's really weird because it doesn't look as big as I remember them. Like
No,
I remember them being massive.
They're not as big as the new release, but they're still pretty big.
Yeah, I remember because my friend at school had one, and like I only had the really small ones, but he had that. He'd like sleep with it in bed and stuff like that. As a kid, I just remember it being so big.
I had the small ones and got one big one, and then just a bit of an add-on. Go.
Oh, nice.
So
That come
with the trading cards that came out
the bubblegum, of course.
back then, because I used to. I still have the cards, but I collected the cards from the movies and the cartoons.
You know, it's funny because you know how trading cards have kind of gotten back like kind of hot again now.
Mm-hmm.
And you see a lot of the stores now, they actually still sell like sealed packets of that old stuff. Wouldn't the chewing gum have just like destroyed the cards like over these 30 years?
In all honesty, the cards from 30 years ago are still in better condition than buying cards from 15 years ago.
Okay, fair enough.
Because they used to use paper and cardboard back then. Now they use some weird thing and they stick together.
Yeah, that's true. Because Lee from Whack Comics recently did a card haul. He bought all these random packets of cards, and they were pretty old, like maybe 10 years old and stuff. And he was opening them up, and a lot of them were really sticky, like all stuck together.
Yeah,
So,
you got to be careful. That's why a lot of people buy sealed boxes and leave them sealed, because chances are you're destroying most of the cards opening them up.
Okay. Because I went to when I went to that market a few weeks ago. Yeah, Bruce was there. You know Bruce. And he's his mate who sells the trading cards. He had like original Batman '89 movie trading cards and all that sort of stuff. I'm like, man, how are they still like sealed and stuff?
Yeah, he's a big collector, that guy. So I'd be surprised if you'd ever find out exactly what he has in storage. So
insane. All right, I'm gonna take it back to the Cap.
Well, I figured I'd do a little pirate or captain theme on this round. So why don't we do a little Deadpool?
Oh, nice.
This one I like because I like the Elseworld story. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. Laughing Man.
Oh,
It's Joker all dressed up like pirate.
yeah, I think I've seen that on a cover before.
It's in an Elseworld.
Yeah.
And then the one my wife just bought for me recently, because she said this one reminds me of my body. Mr. Potato Head.
Mr. Potato Head. That's awesome.
It looks just like you, Cap.
Oh, thanks. I mean, I think I got more gray than him, but that's all right.
Awesome. Do you have any big like pirate ships or anything like that?
Yeah, I got a lot of different ships people have gave me, or some people made. I'm like, okay, thanks. You know, they all go into like the storage shed. After a while, they take over. So, what do you do with them?
Yeah, I know. I'm totally running out of space here. Like my comics are actually taking up more space now than anything else. Like I've just got piles. I'm just surrounded by them. It's starting to hurt my feelings. All right, we've got the bearded comic bro in a new location.
I'm in a new location for you, Simon. This is what I do for you. I take the time to move my computer around. So I was gonna show you this, but it's right here. Since Cap was on, I gotta show you this. This is actually my first ever AOK, and it was from Cap. And these are newspapers that Cap found I forget where you said you found them. But if you see the date there, 1936.
In color.
In color. These are newspaper printings from the Denver newspaper from 1936. This one, the big one back here, which doesn't have Dick Tracy on the front, it's on the interiors, is from 1934. And that was the first ever. It was the coolest yet scariest AOK I ever had. Because it was from Cap. You don't know what to do when Cap sends you something, right? Like,
and it came in a tube too. So
it was in a tube, and it's like, don't like
wear gloves. I remember watching that.
Skull and crossbones were on it. It's like you might die opening the, like it was just like so. Like I remember I had like gloves on. I'm like, oh man, I don't know what to do.
I remember watching that video, and like you were just like with the gloves on, like,
right? So this is why I moved over here. So Simon, you wanted to see my Dick Tracy shrine.
Yes. Look at that.
You go.
So we've got. You guys were talking about trading cards. I've got box of Dick Tracy trading cards right here.
Yeah, man, I would have had them back in the day.
I actually have in mint condition a complete set of the cards too, but I have a box of them. So I got the VHS for the movie there. I got a thermos. I got the Sega Genesis game, the NES game. I've got all the action figures. The only one I'm missing is the blank, which is a very rare and exclusive figure because it was one of those. It was an action figure that spoiled the end of the movie, so they had to pull production on it, and they actually, I think, only to release it in Canada. So I'm still trying to hunt it down, but I mean, it's a couple $100 action figure. But then you can go to the next shelf here. You can see I got I've got the actual Barbie dolls of like Itchy and Madonna, Big Boy, Prune Face, Flat Top. I've got the wrist watch.
Oh, show us the watch.
So this is I have one out of package, but I had to get an in package one too. The wristwatch. I've got the board game, the old Dick Tracy show, puzzles. Here's something my mom just actually dropped off to me. I have my Dick Tracy comforter I had as a kid. I actually had the Dick Tracy comforter. So I was a big, Dick Tracy was a gateway drug into comics for me. And so it'll always have a special place. Here's another wristwatch. It was a walkie-talkie. I mean, look at this bad boy. Like, these are the things we as kids had to play with, to get like a walkie-talkie sound. Like, look how big and annoying this antenna is. You don't get that nowadays. But
poke your eye out.
Right. Well, nowadays you can buy the real thing, right?
Right.
Apple Watch and stuff like that.
I got my Dick Tracy mug here.
That's cool.
So yeah, it's nostalgia for me. I don't know, if you guys have it over in Australia, but one of the things that we used to do when we were kids was we'd have borders around our rooms where it was just like a thin pattern around the top of your room, and mine was Dick Tracy. I was obsessed with Dick Tracy as a kid.
That's cool, man. Do you have any key Dick Tracy books?
I don't really have too many key. So my oldest comic book I own in my collection is actually this Dick Tracy book right here. There's a cereal called Pop Wheat, and it was a giveaway, and this is 1947 or something comic book. And Rosko, I see your comment, dude. If you're a fan of Dick Tracy as a kid, you've heard that joke all the time, and it doesn't even faze you anymore. I had to put that out of my mind real quick as a fan, as a kid, because y'all are jerks and you don't grow up either, Rosko.
Because that's what it was too. I asked Beard, I asked him what his oldest comic was, and he told me it was that one. And then so I sent them newspapers from 1930,
which are older, and I got some of the limited collector edition, so the Big Boys prints, and I got only one Dick Tracy on card. I could get a lot more of them. I just kind of decided against collecting them because I have them all open, and it's really hard to display these, but they're super cheap because I'm literally the only Dick Tracy collector apparently, but so it's easy to get that. So it's kind of a nice to have that hobby.
That's cool. Thanks for that, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, that was I don't get to share my Dick Tracy display case very often, so that was fun.
Nice. That's awesome. All right. So we'll bring it back to Shaun. Hope you show some Batman today, Biddy, because I know you like Batman too, apparently.
Give me a break. Give me a second. I'll move you to my next locale assignment. All right. We'll just keep it. You'll get a little mini tour of my my basement.
Nice. Shaun, what you got?
Going on with the Dick theme.
Yes. The best Dick costume.
I love that segue. That was a beautiful segue.
So I'm a giant Nightwing fan. So got a whole series of figures from different iterations of his costume. And leading into a 6-inch inbox.
That's a 6-inch dick.
Standing straight up.
So it's just a few of the Nightwing figures I have. So when I started collecting comics again, one of the first books I got was his first appearance.
Yeah.
So Tales of Teen Titans. And he's just one of the characters that I try to collect as much as I can of, obviously. Hats, T-shirts, all sorts of stuff.
I bought my Nightwing T-shirt from you that you couldn't get anywhere here. Yeah, the Nightwing first appearance is the current book that I'm chasing. I've been losing a lot of auctions on eBay recently on it, but I'm definitely getting it because it's affordable. You can get I guess a low grade copy for fairly cheap. So it's definitely something. I just feel like I need to get it now before it gets to a point where it just goes up for some reason. So I'm surprised. Okay. I'm surprised it's not like more expensive than it is.
It's coming up. The price is gonna jump like crazy.
So I need to get it soon before it goes too spastic. But can you just show us the disco one again, mate? Because that's I love the disco suit because that was my memory. My first ever Nightwing memory was in that suit, and I've told the story heaps of times. When I read comics as a kid, when I first started reading Batman comics, all I knew was Dick Grayson from the Adam West, Burt Ward show. So when I saw Nightwing like that in the comics and he was Dick Grayson, I was so confused. I was like, who's this guy? Why is he Nightwing? I had no idea. But what line of figurines is that from?
So this is from DC Comics. So these two were from the 75 year celebration.
Okay. I don't think I've seen those.
So, and then the bigger one is from DC. Sorry, not the bigger one. This one is from the Batman v Superman range. Let me just get the stand. So,
okay, yep.
And then the big one is from the animated series. So the Batman animated series, and that is a Kenner.
Ooh.
So made by Kenner.
I didn't know figurines because all those figurines articulate, yeah? I didn't know they came with stands because I never open my figurines.
Most of them have
Most
stands.
Oh, do they? Oh, most of yours do?
Yeah. Very, very rarely you find one without a stand these days.
Yeah, I guess nowadays they do. I would say like the older ones, I don't think as much.
Yeah. I don't open my older stuff. Like these ones are open because I bought them obviously out of box just to have something in the collection.
Next time I try to visit my brother to do another video on his collection, I want to try to get back. I remember having all the old DC figures back in the day where you would squeeze their legs and their arms would kind of move. You guys remember those? Yeah, do you remember those? I had all those. And when the 89 Batman movie came out, I got a text, like a marker, and colored my Batman in black, and it looks so good.
I don't have a DC, but
I'm looking for something for you, Simon. Hold on.
He's got a thing on his back, and you push it, and his legs are meant to move.
Simon, you're talking 1989. I got Bob from the 1989 Batman movie, where you push it and he kicks.
Oh, okay. I had the Daniel LaRusso Karate Kid 2 figurine where it came with like the block of ice, and you snap his arm up, and then you press his back, and he chops through the ice.
So good.
Nice. All right. What round was that? Was that your third thing or second thing?
Third.
Okay, cool. Cap, round 3, mate.
All right. I figured I'd go with a little Star Wars this round.
Ooh.
This one, I traded a guy 2 comic books for. I don't even remember what I traded him for, what kind, but it's Boba Fett, and it's in Spanish.
Oh, that's sweet.
But he has the missile and all. I don't even remember what comic books. I just thought it was pretty cool because it was in Spanish.
Well, is that figurine like worth something? Like did you trade him like expensive books or anything, or was it just like
it wasn't really expensive? I mean, it was like a couple Thor books if I remember right. So it wasn't really anything special. So
yeah.
But I just thought it was. I remembered everybody hooting and hollering about, because his missile shooting out and choking on children or whatever.
Cap's a big fan of missiles shooting out.
Right, all the time when Bearded's around. And then the other thing is, I got this in '94 too, and I'm surprised after 8 kids that it's still semi together. But I never opened it. It's Micro Machines.
Oh, that's cool.
That's sweet.
And
oh, it's the head that opens up into a
to a cantina.
Well, good thing I'm at my Batman display case, Cap, because I got something for you later. I actually think I had that cantina one. Yeah. Oh, I think they had an R2D2 one too.
Yeah, I think so.
And I'm trying to remember what it was because I feel like I had that as well.
Was Jabba's Palace was R2D2.
Okay, yeah, I had Jabba's. I might not have had the cantina. I know I had R2D2. I had Jabba's Palace for sure.
Yeah, the kids have crunched up on the front a little bit, But all the pieces are still there. It's never been opened.
That's sweet.
Was that what, 80s or early 90s or what?
90
mid-90s, I think.
Yeah.
I remember those. The Micro Machines. Jesus Christ. I haven't seen one of those.
Yeah, it probably was. Well, because the one I have is I have Star Wars, but I also have Batman Forever one, which would have been 1995 was when the movie came out. So mid-90s, so 94, 95, yeah.
Nice.
Probably.
All right. That was it? Nice. I didn't know you were a Star Wars guy.
Off and on.
Yeah, like me, I just like the original.
So, Simon, I'm telling you, Simon, I've never done this for any other channel. I've literally moved my spot now 3 different locations, and I did that for you. This is for you. I
appreciate it, mate.
So, if I'm gonna be late to your show, I'm gonna respect you though and bring goodness to your show. So,
all right. Thanks, Bearded.
Listen, so we were talking about the Micro Machine. I have the Riddler one. You pop that bad boy open, and it's the end scene from Batman Forever, where he, and you can put the little throne that he was on and things like that. But I've lost a lot of the pieces because I played with that as a kid. But so that's that. So Simon, you said you wanted to see some Batman stuff. What do you want to see Batman stuff wise?
Well, something old, mate. You got anything old?
Old.
This show's all about bringing back the nostalgia. You know what I mean? That's what we want.
All right.
Like that Micro Machine.
So here's something old. I don't show very often. This is I got an actual autograph from Frank Gorshin, who was the Riddler from the 1966 Batman.
That's cool.
Got a little COA and all that jazz on the back, but this is the epitome of what I think of when I think of the Riddler. He's my favorite character through and through. So my Batman display case is all I've got some pops here, but it's all my action figures unopened, opened. I've got a bunch of Batman the Animated Series in box, so like Two-Face, Mr. Freeze, Mask of the Phantasm back there. Actually, let's just do that. Ra's al Ghul, Killer Croc, Man Bat. This is actually here. I'll show you this. This is cool. Sorry if you are, if I just gave you guys this seizure by doing that. This is Harley Quinn. This is actually the first Harley Quinn action figure that was ever made.
Really?
So because she was introduced in the Batman the Animated Series.
Animated, yes.
This actually isn't very expensive to get, but most people are just sleeping on it. This was actually the first action figure that was ever made of Harley Quinn, which is super cool. On my lower tier shelf, I've got a lot of the Batman from the movies. So Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, bunch of display stuff down there, all the old VHSs when I was a kid. So, I mean, as much as I love Dick Tracy, like Batman was the epitome of getting me into reading comics. I'm going back and collecting all the Batman the Animated Series action figures, and I'm trying to get them all on board, and now I'm gonna try and find a way to display those because I love them. But where's my? So we got some Dick Grayson here for my Nightwing fans. In suit.
Is that? Oh, wait, what's that other one? What with the black T-shirt?
This one?
No, the other one.
So this is Dick Grayson from the animated series.
Okay.
The action figures, they did a lot of like Bruce Wayne, and then you could put, he's Bruce Wayne here, but you could then put the chest plate on, and he's Batman.
Oh, geez, that's cool.
And so it's because his head pops down, and you can. And
Put
then
a new head on him.
So this is like the Michael Keaton. I don't have all of it, but it's Michael Keaton, and then you can put the cowl on.
That's cool.
So like there was a lot, like some of the things that they did with toys, especially action figures for kids back in the day, was really cool to see. And yeah, I mean, so I go back and I collect all my stuff that a lot of these, like anything that's opened, I had as a kid, but I'm trying to go back and get them in box just because like there's so much nostalgic for me when we're talking old school Batman stuff and, like all the VHSs that I had as a kid for Mask of the Phantasm, like nobody collects VHSs, but I do. I have all the Batman movies on VHS and things like that. So, yeah, just a lot of random Batman stuff from my childhood. But man, yeah, so Superrus said they had a Clark Kent like that. Yeah, so the animated, because Batman the animated series was the same time around as Superman the animated series, and they did that same thing where they had the Clark Kent switcheroo. And actually, in this, I have the Wayne Manor Batcave right here. There's one where you could put like a Bruce Wayne figure in it and then turn it, and it would turn into Batman. When you'd put him in kind of like a cool little like closet, and he comes out as Batman. You have to have two figures to do that, but it was sweet. It was fun.
Who made the figures?
So most of these are all, I believe, Kenner. So yeah, the Batman the animated series were Kenner toys. Let me look at I'll pull a Batman Forever, the movie one. Yeah, it's Kenner as well. So, well, and that's where like, so this is a Penguin from Batman Returns. They have a Batman from the Super Pro collection, or not Super Pro, Super Power collection, and it's the exact same figurine and it's the exact same build. But rather than black, white, and red, it's the iconic blue Penguin suit and Kenner was known for just taking the same molds and just changing the colors on them. So
like a Funko Pop.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
I need to get that Harley Quinn figure because I think you just started some spec, mate. The first Harley Quinn figure.
It's not super expensive.
I'm going on eBay straight after the show.
Yeah, like
I'm sure Tori
it's from the Adventures of Batman. If you want one of the actual first, are you a Harley Quinn guy, Simon? Big guy?
Yeah.
So one of the first actual print things of, people collect Batman Adventures issue number 12 because it was their first appearance.
Coloring book, right?
Not the coloring book. Actually, even before that, it was Batman animated series, a board game.
Oh. And
it was printed out on one of those pieces. I have it. I'll show it to you next round. It won't be my thing that I show, but I'll show it to you next round.
Like, Bearded, I hope you know that I like to have my guests return at some point. I hope you haven't just blown your wad on this.
I have like 5 other shelves here, buddy.
Excellent. All right. We'll go back to Sean. We're up to round 4, I think, now.
All right. So, as you can see, always wearing a hat. So, hats are something I collect.
Mighty Ducks. I love it.
Yeah.
So,
did you collect that for the movie or the actual or the animated series?
We all collected that stuff for the movie.
The movie.
Cool.
Yeah.
But what about the animated series, though? Because that was pretty dope, too.
I just started watching it not long ago because I had never seen it. But hats were one of the first real things I started full on collecting. So I've got these new era hats. These were, for us in Australia, very hard to get. And I've been told that these two are limited edition hats. So the X-Men heroes, X-Men villains.
That's awesome.
So there's only meant to be, I think, 5,000 of these or 500 made. So it's in the collection. I've got about 40 Marvel DC themed hats, all different characters.
How do you store your caps? Do you have that thing? You know, people like hang their caps on the wall. Like, how do you store your
I've
caps?
got a drawer, a pull-out drawer, and I have them all sitting in a drawer. I used to have the rack, and you slide them in, and you pull it out from the bottom. But yeah, now I leave them sitting flat.
Yeah, MadSpidey's a big hat guy. I think he's jealous.
So it's a very expensive obsession.
Just back to the Mighty Ducks thing, yeah, Bearded. Like anything down here, like in Australia anyway, because obviously we don't have ice hockey down here. So, like, back when we were kids, we didn't even know that the Ducks was a team. I don't think. Like, we just knew the movie, so everyone was wearing like Mighty Ducks, the what do you call it, the hockey?
Yeah.
Jerseys. Jerseys, that's what it's called. But yeah, Mighty Ducks is awesome. I think I had that same cap actually.
That's so. Have you guys watched? Not to sidetrack the show. Have you guys watched the Mighty Ducks on Disney Plus, the TV show?
Yeah,
I've heard it's good though.
I love it.
Wait, so has it got the kids come back? Or
so
like...
it basically it's what they do is they take the story of Mighty Ducks. They, the Mighty Ducks were, the nobody team in the movies, and then they become legendary, iconic. Well, when the series picks up, basically what they do is they have the Mighty Ducks team now are like the Hawks of the movie, like the elite team, the preppy team, the team that like nobody can get into. And it's so these kids who are like the District 5 kids are trying to start a team, and they do it at Emilio Estevez's ice rink that he runs, that he bought from Hans. And so they then come of like trying to become like the Mighty Ducks are actually like the bad guy. They're the
so it's almost like Cobra Kai, right? How they've
yeah.
It's so good.
Time frame of like Cobra Kai of like so Emilio Estevez is in almost all the episodes. They bring back in some of the original cast members throughout the time. If you watch the series, it's fun. It's if you watch the movies as a kid, you're gonna love it. Yeah, Game Changers is what it is. It's so good. I hope they do it in the second season because the way they've set it up, they can do a lot of fun story arcs.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
I don't think they're gonna be doing a second season.
You don't think so?
Emilio Estevez doesn't want to get vaccinated.
Oh well,
Emilio.
I don't know if it's changed, but a story I read a few weeks ago said it's put a spanner in the works for it.
Shoot.
So it'll be interesting.
We'll move on to Cap. What you got, mate? Round 4, fight.
Well, you said you want something old, so I figured I'd bring a 1952 machine gun, cap gun.
Does that take the paper one, like the paper cap?
Yeah, you put the caps in there, it rolls it up, and you wind it right there.
That's a bizarre looking gun. What?
Well, you had knives on here. I figured I'd better bring a gun,
Yeah, man, I remember cap guns, and so that takes it was like a little roll of like paper ones with the dots.
One, yep. You put it right in there.
And but back in the day, you could just like scratch them off and it would like do a thing.
And then you wind it up. go, and it'll just pop up.
Oh, it's like a machine gun one almost.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, I don't think I ever saw that. I never saw one that could do a bunch of them in a row.
I wouldn't think
1952. Now I got something else because like some people collect like beer bottles and stuff like that. Well, I go a little bit further. I try to look for old like medicine bottles and stuff. Well, here's my oldest. It's a 1902 dandruff cure hair tonic with Coke in it.
Jesus. 1903?
1902.
No, Jesus Christ.
Let's see.
How does...
See it right there?
Coke
February 1st, 1902.
Jesus.
That's insane.
How does
That's why bearded don't have dandruff, just so you guys know.
It's true.
Hair tonic.
I thought Rosko brought the oldest thing on, but you might have just set the record. Rosko brought some really old school stuff when he was on. But wow, okay, nice. And what year was the cap gun? Did you say in the 60s?
52.
Jesus Christ, nice. I love seeing old stuff. It's cool, and yeah,
that's why you had me in here.
The bottle, I can't believe it still looks like it looks pretty good for something that's that old.
I actually was doing a construction job and I got this out of the wall, and this was the same ones where I got Bearded's papers at. They were on the floor with like 13 layers of like linoleum on top of it. This was from an old out of the walls. So I had to tear down walls, and I found this in there too.
That's crazy. Wow, we were. All right.
Made with real Coke.
Good stuff.
I told you, Simon, I was doing it for you. This is the Batman the Animated Series 3D board game. And yeah, and I don't know. I mean, you can look anywhere online and people are like, oh, this is the first. And supposedly, like, these pieces are like there's a Harley Quinn in here somewhere. Here it is. This is supposedly the first, one of the first prints of Harley Quinn ever. Again, wow. I'd give this away for a Batman Adventures number 12 in a heartbeat. So, don't get me wrong. But I had this as a kid. So, just to show I haven't blown my load as Simon was worried about, this was a piece I was originally going to show before we started changing locations. This is a Batman the Animated Series Batmobile, and it is signed by Kevin Conroy and Lauren Lesser, who are the voices of Batman and Robin in the show.
Dang.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. So I originally got it, and it was Lauren had signed it up on top, which is cool. But I'm super glad then that I got Kevin Conroy to sign it on the side because that's more visible.
Yeah, that looks great on the side.
And that's let's be honest, Kevin Conroy is our Batman, or my Batman through and through.
Funny thing about me is I didn't grow up watching the animated series. Like I remember it being on, but I think I was just by then I kind of had sort of lost interest in it all. I think so. I didn't really grow up watching it all. I bought them all recently on like about a year ago on DVD. But I haven't actually I sat there one day and I watched like about 3 episodes. But I feel like there's so much time I need to invest in just sitting there and watching them all. So I want to watch the important episodes. Like I know there's that Dr. Freeze episode which like won awards. And
yeah. Stuff. So Heart of Ice, the Mr. Freeze Heart of Ice is iconic. You got to watch it. That's where they first introduced Nora Freeze into Batman lore. And I mean, she makes Mr. Freeze by that. That's worth watching. Did you watch Batman 66 at all? The TV show?
Yeah. So I love that show. Yeah, when I was a kid. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
watch Beware of the Gray Ghost.
Okay.
If you haven't watched, if you don't know anything about the Gray Ghost, don't Google it. Just go in watching Beware the Gray Ghost, and you're gonna message me and be like, "Holy cow, that's a great episode." It's gonna hit you in the feels, Simon.
I feel like I should just at least watch the important episodes. Or
Yeah, so watch Heart of Ice, watch Beware the Gray Ghost. Those are a couple like great ones, but the Clayface is iconic, I think. You can't go wrong. Batman the Animated Series. Just invest in it all, buddy.
All right, so we are up to the final round. Shaun, where are you going out with a bang with?
So Simon, I think you're not gonna know who this is, but Captain and Bearded might. So let me take it out of the case.
Time out. I think I saw who it was. Is that Walt Flanagan?
Yeah. So this is the
What's
comic
the
Funko headquarters, limited to 120 pieces.
That's so sweet.
Walt Flanagan comic book man pop. So this is the most limited number pop I have.
120? Jesus.
So obviously there's the 5, and I'm still working on getting them. I've got Walt and Kevin. I just need to get the other 3.
That's that YouTube show, is it? That
It was
about,
on AMC.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Well, yeah, I've seen it on YouTube. Like, it's about Kevin Smith's comic store, yeah?
Yeah, so
I've seen that.
Walt is one of Kevin's best friends, runs his comic book shop. When I went to America last, I was able to meet him at the Secret Stash. So I met him and Mike. So, and I used to love the show. So it's sort of, I stopped collecting pops. There's only really 2 people I collect, and that's Kevin Smith and Stan Lee. So cool. Had to add this into the collection.
As in, they're the only pops you collect now?
The only, yeah.
Okay.
So Kevin Smith and Stan Lee pops.
So you got to meet Walt Flanagan then?
Yeah.
So you went to the Secret Stash, which is he doesn't travel. So like you only get to meet him if he goes there because he's afraid of flying.
Yeah, I was in the shop for a good 2 hours, and Mike was there the whole time, and he literally came up 5 minutes before we were about to walk out of the shop. So if we had left earlier, we wouldn't have seen him.
Oh, that's so cool.
So, but yeah, it was some interesting stories. Mike's very friendly and talks, especially when there's no one in the shop, and just telling you stories about when they film and all that sort of stuff. It was interesting experience.
Oh, you'll appreciate this. And so we didn't meet Walt, but we met all the other ones. We met Brian, Mike, and Ming at a con here in Ohio.
Nice.
Well, I'm aiming eventually, hopefully, trying to get Kevin Smith and the 4 of them. Now that I know Walt doesn't fly, might be a bit hard, but to get the other 3 down to Australia.
Yeah. Well, that's what he said in the show a lot, and that's why I haven't seen him locally, around here. But who knows? It could have changed. I mean, things change, throughout the years. But man, that'd be sweet.
Yeah. So we struggle to see things like that here.
Yeah.
So, and it's just, it seems like people want to drag things out for no reason. Like, it's not that hard to get. We can get the same guests here for a show every year, but you can't get a new guest.
Yeah.
So just after coming to America's cons, it makes you think twice about what an Australian con is.
Yeah.
So
I need to come out to Australia and go to a con. I need to make that.
I just need to go to Australia. Well, that's all.
It's not going to compare, Bearded, to tell you that.
Here's the deal, but just bring me out to a con. That's all I care about.
Although Tom Taylor will be there, and he'll sign your book for free. He'll sign as many books as you want to.
Literally, that would be one of the. That's the biggest draw for me to go to a con in Australia. Are you kidding me? I love Tom Taylor's writing.
Whereabouts in America are you?
I'm in Ohio, so East Coast, Midwest. Depends on what you want to say. I'm in Eastern time zone, but we're in the Midwest, but we're really not in the middle of the states.
So I did Wizard World in Philly.
Okay.
When I came to America. So if you've ever been to a show like that, an Australian show is maybe a quarter of what you get there.
Dang it, because I would tell you if you come to America, don't go to a Wizard World show. They just collapse because they're not that good.
Yeah, I got told that when I was there. I got told that out of all the shows they do, Philly and Chicago are their best two.
Those are the best Wizard World shows to go to. So you went to the best one to go to from Wizard World for sure.
But yeah, that left our shows for dead. Like size-wise, about a quarter. Our shows go for 2 days of 10 hours. And
listen, MadSpidey wants to bring me on for a panel. We'll do a YouTube panel. I'll fly to Australia.
Once I get my show a bit bigger, we'll bring you out.
No, you don't even have to bring me out. Just give me a spot. I'll fly myself out. you just tell me I have a spot to talk, and I'll be there. I'll find a way.
Not a problem.
That won't be hard to convince my wife to say, "Hey, let's go to Australia." She's like, "Okay, cool."
Right.
Tell her shopping's cheap here.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting close to the hour, so we're gonna wrap it up soon. But Captain, what's your final thing, mate?
Oh, my final thing. Well, since I have only one leg, I figured I'd show off my shoes of Chuck's.
Oh, there you go. Shaun brought some shoes there last time he was on. Nice.
So I got that style. That one's pretty cool too.
Oh, sick. Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, that one has it written on the inside too.
Yeah, I feel like if I bought those kind of shoes, I wouldn't wear them. I just have them on display.
Exactly. And then my last one. Come on.
What's the fun in buying shoes to leave on display?
Isn't that kind of like the same thing a hat?
Wait, is this coming from the guy who says he has hats just sit in a drawer?
No, I wear my hats. I store them in a drawer, but I wear every hat I have, and I wear every shoe I have.
Yeah.
I wear my Jordans. I wear my LeBrons.
Yeah, but the problem is, all shoe collectors, they take care of their shoes. They get home at the end of the day, they clean them and stuff. I wear shoes until they look like they're not shoes anymore.
So they look like Cap, right? Am I right?
You gotta have a pair of shoes that you wear every day, and then shoes that you wear out.
I know. That's my favorite one there.
I tried to buy those. I couldn't find them in my size.
Nice.
Yeah, at least
are they limited ones? They're limited edition though, yeah, because I never really see them at shops.
The only place you'll find Chucks like that here is DFO Southall.
Oh, okay.
They get them in occasionally.
All right. Nice one, Cap. We are going to finish the show with a bang, and that is what you got, mate.
Well, you said with a bang. Now there's pressure. Like, did I bring enough for the?
You better, mate. You showed up late. You showed us like half your house.
Listen, I showed up a minute late. Like, let's pump the brakes on how late I was. Okay, I showed up a minute late, Simon, and that's like internet time change. So, like, I was probably on time. You just didn't know. So one of the things, I go to a lot of cons, and one of the things that I have started to do is collect pops and get celebrities to sign the pops that I get because they're easier to display than a print. So I don't know how big this was in Australia, but Saved by the Bell, Zach Morris, Mark Paul Glosser signed that bad boy, Zach, right there. This was the epitome of my childhood as a kid with his, you can't really see it real well there, but the big cell phone. Man, to have him sign a pop was so cool to get Zach Morris pop, let alone then to have it signed by him. That's sweet. So that's kind of, it's easy to display these, you know, put them on a shelf, you can stack them. So I start to get a lot of Comic-Con celebrities to sign my pops. And so yeah, Zach Morris, Mark Paul Glosser. I don't show it very often because I'm a comic book YouTube channel and there's people don't really care about Saved by the Bell, but my boy Freaky Louie is in the house and I know Freaky loves this. So
have you seen the new series?
I have not seen the new series because I don't want to subject myself to punishment, but is it good?
It's an interesting take. So
see, I feel like Game Changers was actually a good interpretation of going from. I feel like the Saved by the Bell feels forced, and I don't know.
It's like a train wreck. You know you shouldn't be looking, but once you start watching, you can't stop. They take an interesting take, like society today. The way they show it in that for the version of what the show is. Yeah, it's an interesting take.
Well, the fact that you said that, and then Freaky just said in the chat that he loves the new series. I actually might have to try it. Yeah, MadSpidey said rest in peace to Screech. Fun fact, so my wife and I went to a comedy show about 3 years ago. We saw Dust, and it was Dustin Diamond was doing stand-up comedy there. So Screech was doing stand-up comedy. And he was like, oh, you guys all come out for Saved by the Bell stuff? He's like, well, you guys are going to be disappointed because I'm just going to be telling dick jokes. But it was he wasn't a great stand-up comedian, but it was cool to meet him. And so
what when you go to cons and you line up for those autographs, how long is the line, like how long do you have to line up for?
It depends on where you go, what cons. So I'm in the Midwest, so we have a couple like really good sized cons around us. I think I waited 15 minutes for Zach Morris's autograph. I've got some other autographs that I can't show because, you know, you said you want to bring me on again at some point. But so Kevin Conroy, I got the Kevin Conroy signed. I literally walked right up to his table. No one was in line. And so Tom King, Tony Fett says Tom King has a huge line, always has a huge line. Tom King and Greg Capullo were probably the longest lines I've ever stood in. I was just at Baltimore Comic-Con in October. Tom King's line, I probably stood in line for 45 minutes for Tom King, Mitch Gerrards, and Doc Evan Shaner. They were all at the same booth. And so it was like, boom, go through all three of them. And I would say 45 minutes is not that long, but he always has a huge line. The
comic creators here, there's no lines.
Yeah,
Tom Taylor, I think I saw Tom Taylor once. So one of the first cons I ever went to get a signature, I didn't know, this is like early, like a couple of years ago, so I didn't know much, but I didn't know who Tom Taylor was. But Nick Spencer was there. So I was like, I'm going to bring my Spider-Man to get signed by Nick Spencer. So like I go up to Nick Spencer, there's not a single person at his table, and right next to him is Tom Taylor, and he had maybe 20 or 20 something people. And I was looking at Tom Taylor like, who's that guy?
Dude, I get it. I walked up to about 2 years ago. It was when Absolute Carnage was hot. It was right when I started to do YouTube and comic stuff. And I was talking to my LCS. I was like, I don't know any of these new creators. Like, there's this guy named like Donnie Cates is going to be at this con. Should I go like meet him? It took me 10 minutes to meet Donnie Cates at a show. Now it also, I feel like 2 years later, it'd be a lot longer of a line, but
it was the same when he was here. He had maybe 3-4 people lining up, but he was just talking to everyone, friendly. And these days, I would say you'd probably be waiting hours to meet him now. After
it'd be curious to see, because I have a sketch that I had Ryan Segman do, and as I'm waiting in line, they're like, "Oh, do you just want him to draw a sketch?" I'm like, "There's like 30 people behind me. Dude busted out in like 45 seconds." I was like, "That's impressive." But
All right. Well, I'm going to wrap the show up just because we've hit over the hour point. But before I do, I'll obviously do the usual. Tell us what's going on. You don't make content, Shaun, but any word? If you guys are interested in checking out Shaun's convention, I did a video there, the last one, which is 2 years ago now. But I got a link to the video in the description below, as well as his IG and his web store as well. So, any word, mate? We're out of lockdown, so any word on when
just had the venue sighting, and it looks like it probably be a good idea there. So just gotta check that it's going to be feasible to do, and hopefully be going again in February.
Oh, sweet, February, nice.
So
we'll make sure. You know we planned it early, so as long as I can make another video, mate, I'll be there.
Yeah, that's right. You'll be making more than just a video.
All right, sweet. All right, thanks for coming on, mate.
No problems.
Cap, I'm hoping next episode I do, whenever that is, I can get your better half to come on and show some of her stuff.
same.
But
See,
What
same
up?
thing with Bearded. Mrs. Bearded.
She doesn't collect. What? She's gonna. What
Get
is
all
she
them
doing?
emojis. She
She
keeps
doesn't
stumping
collect
you.
anything. I love my wife, but she does not collect anything comic book related. This will be a boring portion of your show.
What you got anything coming up in your channel, mate, or just making the usual appearances on?
Just dropping anchor on people's shows, and checking out everything. I have a What If show coming up here pretty soon. I think it's next Wednesday. It's What If number 10 from the first series, so got that dropping pretty soon. But besides that, Greyman's Cover Slingers, support Simon, support Bearded, go over CIG on him. So after that, that's about all I got.
Nice, mate. Well, appreciate you coming on for the first time, and I'm sure you've got more stuff, mate. Like I said, everyone who comes on, they're always welcome back, and I want to have everyone on it at least twice.
Proud of that variety of stuff today, so
that's good. I appreciated it, mate. All right, Bearded, what you got coming up?
Man, I hope to come back on because I love just showing off all the things I collect. So thank you, Simon. What do I have? I just dropped a video with my wife. We do a video, Name That Character, every Friday night on my channel. So that's always fun. I haven't announced this, but I'll announce it here. So you all hear it here first. Monday, I'm dropping my interview with Dalbor Talij, who is the co-creator of Hitmonkey. He also was the artist of Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. He's the artist on Hotel from AWA right now and Casual Fling and some of those. So I just interviewed him, and that's going to be dropping on Monday. That'll be fun. So come over, check it out on my channel. I got some more every Wednesday on my channel. I do whatever I feel like. Fridays are usually Name That Character. And then Mondays are usually creator interviews. Tuesdays, you can usually find me on Lame or Frame on Justin Regan's channel. I think I'm going to be on Morbius's channel earlier on Tuesday, but then I do a show on Fridays with Comics Will Break Your Heart and Fire Guy Ryan called Comic Talk Live, and we rotate channels. So, I mean, just turn on YouTube. You should be able to find me.
You're busy man, mate. My cat just took a turd. It smells bad. All right. And on that note, everyone for hanging out. If everyone would just take the time to check out the links below, follow all these guys, and if you want to watch any more of this show, I have a link to every episode in the description below. But that is all from us. Thank you, and until next time, keep it simple.